everybody and welcome to week 2 of lockdown 3. I hope you're all still well and hanging on in there. Thank you for your feedback from last week's classes, the first one back for the new year. So it was really good to hear how you'd all got on, and it really does help me to plan your sessions as well. So please keep the feedback coming in and I hope you enjoy this week's class. So let me know how you got on. I'm going to move sideways so you can have a little look at Charlie. There he is, all ready to go. So I shall see you on your mat. Hi everybody and welcome to your intermediate Pilates class. I hope you're all well. So thank you for all your feedback last week, especially regarding the lizard posture, the new posture I introduced last week. So I think all of you found that challenging, and it is a challenging posture, but so good for opening out the hips. And I think you did feel the benefit of it. So I am going to incorporate the lizard today as well. I'm going to bring in a little bit more strength work as well. So please make sure you've got all your equipment ready and we'll get started. So standing tall, your legs and your feet. Hip distance your hip sockets down to your feet, and just checking there that your toes are pointing forward. So just have a look down and check that your feet aren't turning out to the side. And it is so easy to do that if that's your tendency. So this is why you really do need to actually have a look down and check that you have got your feet in the right place. So toes forward, so you know then that your hips are in the right place. Relaxing your shoulders. We'll start with focus on breath and just closing your eyes to help you focus. We're taking a deep breath in through your nose, blowing out through your mouth. And again, deep breath in through your nose, blowing out through your mouth. So continue with that breath, and as you're breathing, check that you are focusing your breath wide and full into your ribcage. Check that you're not breathing down into your abdomen or up into your chest. So you really want to feel the ribcage expand as you breathe in. As you blow out, drawing the ribs down towards the hips. So working with these wide, full breaths to get the oxygen around your body into your muscles so that they can move and work in the right way. As you're breathing, you'll make your connection now into the deep lying abdominals. Starting the contraction through your pelvic floor. So always make sure you go through the pelvic floor when you're engaging into core, because it just makes for a better connection into those deep lying stabilising muscles. So from underneath, taking a breath in, so you breathe out, drawing up on your pelvic floor, bringing the connection then up into the deep lying abdominals. So feeling you're engaging into that whole core stitch of muscle wrapping around you, and remembering these are the muscles that are working to support and stabilise your lower back, and this is why they are so important for your lower back and your spine. So particularly important for you if you know you've got any weakness into the lower back. So making sure you're working with these muscles in your day-to-day, walking, standing, sitting, checking that you have got them switched on. So maintaining that hold, we're staying with your breath. Ready then to check through your posture. We're starting with your head and your neck. Always feeling your way into your neck posture. So you need to feel for that stretch at the back of your neck. You're feeling for the lengthening up from your crown. Your chin needs to be parallel with the floor, and invariably your chin needs to be lower than you think it needs to be. We're now gently lifting your shoulders up towards your ears. We're then rolling your shoulders back. We're sliding your shoulder blades down your back and holding them there. So checking now, can you really feel that connection into your mid-back? And remember, you do need to feel for these muscles in your day-to-day. You need to be aware about how you're walking, standing, sitting, everything in your day-to-day you need to be aware of, so that you're not, you're not rounding through the shoulders, for example. So making sure you can feel that you're switching on those muscles and you maintain your upright, supported shoulder girdle posture. We're going to take this to chest stretch, your arms behind your back, interlacing the fingers. So remember, when you take this stretch, you need to make sure the ribs are drawn right down. So go ahead and draw your shoulders back now as far as you can. So keep the shoulders where they are, releasing your hands, and that's where you need to be on your shoulder girdle posture. It probably still feels exaggerated. Just take a moment now to feel for exactly what's happening in your shoulder girdle right now, so that you can then feel for what's happening in your day-to-day as well, know that you've got it right. So just feel for what's happening now in the front of your shoulders. Can you feel a stretch into that area? If you can, that's one of the things you're feeling for in your day-to-day at the moment. Can you feel the joints under the rib cage? And this is the thing we all tend to forget about. So making sure you've got the ribs joined down, and it is that connection. It's abdominals, it is the more superficial abs. You're just switching them on to help draw the ribs down towards the hips. Feel that you're drawing your shoulder blades down your back, and then it's just a check for where your hands are. So little fingers running down the seams of your trousers, and you know then that your shoulders are in the right place. We're now checking on the curves of your lower back. We're settling into your neutral spine. We're taking a tilt of your pelvis forward. We're then tilting back, and from there, we're settling into the centre. Remembering, if your tendency is to arch your lower back, you will need to exaggerate your tuck under, and it does need to feel really exaggerated. So it needs to feel like you're really pushing your hips forward and scooping your abs right into your spine. We're now working down to your legs, remembering to take that softness through the knees. So checking out, are you locking out your knees? Remember, if you are, you're locking out your lower back as well. So always keeping that softness through the knees. You're working down to your feet and checking there, is your body weight equal into both legs and feet? So really feel your weight underneath your feet. Are you equally balanced? We'll take your gentle sway from side to side. So just feel your weight shifting from one foot to the other. We're slowly then going to settle back into the centre. And once you're there, again, just check your weight into your feet. Are you equally balanced? We're going back to the hook attached to your crown. So imagine you're being pulled and pulled and pulled up by the hook. So you just feel yourself getting taller and taller. And remembering, you can't get too tall. We're constantly working on lengthening out your spine, always being as tall as you can be. So maintaining your posture, just focus back and out on your Pilates breathing. You're engaging into your deep lying abdominals, and we're taking some movements around the shoulders. So on your next breath in, bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Blowing out, rolling your shoulders, shoulder blades down your back, and continuing with your movement. So working here now at your own pace, working with your breath, gradually increasing that range as you go. So making that movement a bit wider each time, aiming eventually to take both arms up over your head and to continue around from there. Please just continue with that. I'm just going to adjust you slightly. So really try and get as wide a range of movements here as you can. Oh dear. Just trying to not have my hands chopped off. Okay, if you're ready to now, moving this into balance. So open your eyes, fixing your gaze, and please try and stay on your mat. I'll come back a bit so you can see me properly. So breathing in, sweeping the arms up, gently lifting the heels. Breathe out, drawing the shoulders back, taking the heels down, and we're continuing there. So really try and stabilise now through your big toes. Try not to roll onto the outside of your feet. So really feel here for what's happening. This is an important one. It's important that you get this correct movement pattern through the feet. And remembering, next time you're walking, make sure you are tracking that straight line from your big toe to your heel. So this one, your last one, back to your start position, just shake it all out. We're going to move now straight into windmill arms, everyone's favourite. So right arm up, left arm down, making sure as you move your arms in opposite directions that your spine doesn't move. So making sure there's no twisting. So right arm up, left arm down. Breath in as you breathe out, your right arm comes forward, left arm goes back, you go out to the side with each, and you're continuing with the movement. And unless you're working with your core, your tendency now will be to do this. Obviously this is exaggerated, but you don't want any movement to your spine. So really lock in your core and just allow that movement to come from the shoulders. So as well as being a really good shoulder mobility exercise, this also really does focus you right in on your core and making sure you're working with those muscles as you move your arms. We're making this one your last one, finishing off left arm up, right arm down. So you're ready, breath in as you breathe out, left arm forward, right arm back, out to the side, continue with the movement. So please maintain that stability through your midsection. So remember, we're always working for this strong, stable centre to your body. This one now your last one. So back to your start position, just roll the shoulders round. And ready now to move on to your neck, so we're coming into nods. So just check through your posture. Make sure the shoulders stay where they are with this one. So make sure when you take the nod with the chin, that you don't start to pull the upper back forward. So when you're ready, taking a breath in. So you breathe out, we're nodding the chin down towards your chest. Holding here to breathe in. 2 movements now in one. So you breathe out, you need to push into the back of your neck with the pull up from the crown. So make sure when you're taking this one that you don't lift your chin, and also that you don't just push back. This needs to be those 2 movements at the same time. So it's the push back with the pull up from the crown. And it's not necessarily a big movement, so please don't expect it to be a big movement. Try and visualise what you're trying to do. And you're trying to stack your vertebra directly one over the next and create some space between those vertebrae. And if you know that you've got a stiff neck, please start incorporating this stretch into your day-to-day. So try and do it at least a couple of times a day if you can. We'll make this one now your last one. So slowly back up, shoulders relaxed. And today we're going to take some rotation through the neck. So we're going to turn the head from side to side. Make sure your shoulders stay facing forwards. And remembering, if you don't have enough rotational movement through your neck to turn your head to where you want to be able to see, you will tend to bring in the upper mid-back. The spine will always compensate for lack of movement. So make sure that the movement is just coming from your neck and that you're not starting to turn the upper body as well. We're going to start off to your left. Shoulders are down, chin's parallel with the floor. Taking your breath in. So you breathe out slowly, carefully, turning your head to your left. So make sure you don't force any movement. When you get to your furthest point, just ease that right shoulder back. And you might find in doing that you're able to get a little bit further around. Breathe in and come to centre. Breathing out, we're over to the other side. So just ease that left shoulder back. Slowly back to centre. We'll do one more to each side. So can you notice a difference from one side to the other? Have you got more rotational movement on one side than the other? So remember, there will be many times in your day where you'll be turning your head, and it's important that you're able to take that movement safely. Those vertebrae are prepared and ready for the movement. So again, if you know that you're stiff around your neck, please try and incorporate the nods we've just done and these rotations. And remembering, rotation really does help to keep your spine mobile. So try and incorporate some rotation for the whole of the spine every day. Back to your start position, just roll the shoulders round. So if you haven't done your flat back yet today, please pause me now, go do your flat back and come back when you're ready. Otherwise, I'm going to go into it now. And before you start moving, remembering this is all abdominal strength, or it should be. So don't let your back do the work. Your back needs to just come along. And remembering this is a training of your body, a training of your muscles to move and to work in the right way. The abs should be doing the work to flex and move the spine. So it's full pelvic tilt. Scoop your abs into your spine. A deep breath in. So you breathe out, we're nodding the chin. Slowly rolling your head down the front of your body. And be careful not to lean forward. And depending on how your back feels today, you might not feel that you want to go all the way down on the first roll down, that's fine. Just go down as far as your spine wants to go, come back up and then gradually increase your range of movement. So when you're coming back up, make sure you push your hips forward, pushing your knees forward. You're slowly and curling your spine, working hard with the abdominals all the way. Slowly back up, shoulders, then your neck, then your head. Back up to standing, we're going to do the same thing again, so full pelvic tilt. Breath in as you breathe out, nodding the chin, slowly rolling down. So, of course, this is one of your 5-a-day exercises. So please try and do those as a minimum every day. We're going to make this one our last one. So this time we're rolling down, we're just staying there, we're just hanging the spine. So once you're there, it's a gentle turn of your head now side to side, checking that your neck is relaxed. But then allowing your head to just hang down to the floor. So the weight of the head drawing down the spine, and really good for your spine to just hang. So we're going to stay here now for a few more breaths, and if you need to bring over your blue block for some height, please do that. So just allow your head to hang to the floor. We're going to move on now to a gentle sway. So forward into your toes, slowly back into your heels, and just gently there forwards and back. So we're using this now to help release any tension to your neck, to your shoulders, to your lower back. Just a really nice posture for the spine. So this one, your last one. Back then to your start position. So from here, we're going to come up to standing now to take some mobility through the hips. So get ready with your abdominals. Breath in as you breathe out. You're pushing your hips forward, pushing your knees forward. Slowly, slowly uncurling your spine. Going up to standing. And ready now for your hip rotations in standing. So we're basically just preparing the hips for the lizard, which is a really strong stretch posture for the hips. So really good to get some mobility into the hip area first. Excuse me a sec, I'm just going to roll my mat away to give me a bit more floor space. So standing tall, if you do need to hold on to something, please do that. So the main thing here is that you're getting that movement to the hip, and if you feel that you're spending a lot of energy balancing on that leg whilst you're taking the movement, just hold on to something so that you can really go ahead and just focus on that mobility. So we will be balancing on the right leg, engage your core, get really tall. I'm going to place my hands onto my hips so you can place yours wherever is best for you. So engaging the core, breath in, and as you breathe out, lifting your left leg to 90 degrees. Breath in, as you breathe out, you go across your body, you tap in front. Breath in, and as you breathe out, lift, lift, lift your leg, take it around, focus on getting a good range of movement, tap behind. The pelvis comes along. Breath in as you breathe out, inward rotation, take it high, 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 and tap in front. So continue now, I'm just going to adjust myself so I'm not bumping into the door. So really try and focus on getting as wide a range of rotational movements here as you can. And you do need to maintain that focus, otherwise you can find yourself basically just doing that more or less, which will give you some mobility, but it won't give you an effective mobility exercise. So you really need to focus on getting as wide a range of movement as you can. If it helps you to take your arms out to the side, please go ahead and do that. Gives you a nice stretch as well if you're able to extend the leg out behind, really nice calf stretch. Making this one your last one. So this is a really good one to fit into your day. Obviously we're doing it in standing, so if you know that you tend to be tight around the hips, a really good one for you. So engage in the midsection, lifting your right leg. Breath in as you breathe out, you take it across your body, you tap in front, the pelvis comes along. Breath in as you breathe out, bring it up, up, up. Take it around and tap behind. So you really do need to check that you're not being a bit lazy with the movement. Maintain that focus, bringing the leg up as high as you can, tapping it behind, increasing your range of movement. And if you prefer, if it helps you, taking the arms out and taking that stretch then on the calf at the back. So if you are doing this without holding on, obviously this is challenging your balance as well. Core strength is involved here too. So make sure you are working your core. Your core is really important for balance, really helps you with your balance. So this one, your last one. Back to your start position, well done everyone. So from there we're just going to walk the feet out now wide and make sure the knees are tracking now with the toes. So toes need to turn out. You're tucking your tail under, up tall through the spine, and we're just going to work now on further opening out the hips, bringing in a little bit of quad strength as well. Breath in as you breathe out, so sit down now into a squat. Breath in, and as you breathe out, push it back up. Breath in as you breathe out, sit down to your squat and really focus on opening out your hips and really try and get that horizontal line from the hip to the knee. Breath in as you breathe out, push up. So hopefully you're feeling that your quads are starting to warm up. So really try and use the glutes there as you come back up. Keep your tail tucked all the way. Make this one your last one. So down into your squat, tuck your tail right under, draw up on your pelvic floor, try and take it down one more inch. Breath in, and as you breathe out, push it back up, well done. Slowly walking your feet back in. Shake it all out. Roll the shoulders round. So we're going to bring this down now to the floor to go into our downward dog and into the lizard posture. We'll be incorporating that today. So I'm just going to roll my mat out. I'll probably need to adjust you again. Okay, so coming to the end of your mat, full pelvic tilt, scoop your ass in. Breath in as you breathe out, nodding the chin. Slowly rolling your head down, just hang your spine. So keeping your chin tucked in, now I'm going to walk your hands forward to your mat. Knees are coming down one at a time. So into all fours position. So make sure you've got your setup there. Check in with your shoulders. So always feel for what's happening around the shoulders. So shoulders away from your ears. Drawing your shoulder blades down your back. And we're drawing up on the pelvic floor. So when you're ready, breathing in, we're tucking the toes under. As you breathe out, or pushing up with the hips, so just hanging down to the floor. Taking your feet now a little bit further back. Bringing a real deep bend into your knees. So really draw your knees towards your chest. Draw your chest towards your knees. And to start with, we're really working on stretching out your spine. So make sure your knees are very bent. To start with, we're stretching out the spine, not stretching out the legs. So try and get your knees to your chest, try and get your chest to your knees. Focus then on the lower back and really try and get your hips, your tailbone right up towards the ceiling. So we're really working on stretching, opening out those lumbar vertebrae. Ready now to move on, breathe in, pull it to your toes. We take your feet a few inches further back. Drawing up on your pelvic floor and ready for your foot pedals. Breath in as you breathe out, taking a bend through the right knee. Ensuring your left heel down towards the floor. Breathe in, you're up to toes. Breathe out to change. So we're starting this pedaling movement through the ankles and the feet. Working at your own pace. So take this one nice and slowly. Remember, if you're working too quickly with this one, you will tend to get more of a half stretch on your calf. So really take your time, just enjoy the stretch. Feel for what's happening there through the calf. And just have a look at that space between your feet. Every time you aim the heel down towards the floor, you're drawing your head towards that midpoint between your feet. You're making this one on your last one. So finishing off the bend to your left knee. Breathing up to your toes, your heels are lifted. So we're going to take this now to your split dog. So we're lifting your your right leg. I'm just going to turn to face you with this side, so I need to be the opposite way to you. So really focus on pushing your toes right up towards the ceiling. Really get the leg as long and as straight as you can. And if you're ready to, try and push up even higher and try and pull back even further. So you've got your right leg lifted. So we're going to bring this now straight into your lizard posture. So you want to aim the inside of your right knee onto the outside of your right elbow. So breath in as you breathe out. Bring the leg forward. You need to bend the knee, obviously. Scoot the foot forward. And you want to place that foot in line with the outer edge of the mat. That back knee comes down. And just take your time now to set your arms and your shoulder girdle. Hopefully you can see this okay. And no, I'm not square on to the camera. Just adjust that a little bit. Okay, so just checking on the shoulders, take a deep breath in. So you breathe out, just relax your shoulders, draw them away from your ears. And just holding this position now is really starting to open out and stretch out the hip. And you do obviously get a stretch on both sides here. A deep breath in, blowing out. So this might be enough of a stretch for you, and it certainly is a strong stretch. If you're ready to move on, and it's only if you're ready to, we're lowering down then to the forearms. So really, really challenging posture. So it's up to you. You can bring the hands into that prayer position, or you can take it into that Sphinx position, whichever is best for you. So you're just breathing into this stretch. And I'm going to take you into progression today, because I'm sure a few of you are ready for the progression. So keep the shoulders down, and the progression is just simply lifting that back leg. So you tuck the toes under the back leg, make sure you've got pelvic floor. Breath in, and as you breathe out, push up, hold it. Focus on pushing that heel down towards the floor, and you should be feeling a really good stretch over the front of that left hip. Make sure you don't collapse through the shoulder girdle, and really squeeze that glute, squeeze that left glute as strongly as you can. Feel for what's happening through the neck. And your last one, slow, bring the knee down, well done, relaxing off that foot. And from here, we're just going to roll back. So just pull that leg back. Draw the forehead towards the leg. And taking it forward. And again, pull it back. So draw the toes up towards the head. I'm going to come this way so you can hopefully see it better. So just easing into a hamstring stretch. So this one now, your last one. So just hold it here. So that was your last one. So just take that hand, that right hand onto the outside of that leg now. So shoulders relaxed. Tucking the toes under on the back leg. Breath as you breathe out, push the knee up, push the hips up, and then just slide in that right foot back, hip distance on the feet. Breathe in to come up to toes, breathe out, taking the heels down. So how did you get on that side? How did it feel? So this one now, your last one. Up to your toes, and now lifting your left leg, squeezing that left glute, push your left toes right up into the ceiling. So really try and get the leg as long and as straight as you can. If you're ready, push up even higher, push back even further. So if you're ready to now, we're going to bring the inside of your left knee onto the outside of the left elbow. So breath in, as you breathe out, bring the leg forward, bend the knee. You might need to scooch it forward a bit, that's fine. So that left hand is on the inside of that left foot. Focus on the shoulders, make sure they're relaxed, just drop that knee down. So we're just breathing here, a deep breath in, blowing out. So how does this feel compared to your other side? So if you are ready to move on, we're lowering down to the forearms. Just breathing into that stretch. If you wanted to, you could just ease out, or help ease out with the hand to help open up the hip. And again, it's up to you on your placement. If you're able to get down to the forearms, whether you want to bring the palms together or take that Sphinx position. So if you are ready to move on, and I'm just going to come to here so you can see this better. So if you are ready to move on, tuck the toes under on the back leg, breath in, as you breathe out, push up. So if you're finding that you would prefer to come to the hands to go into that progression, you can do that, that's absolutely fine. So it's up to you wherever you're at. So think about squeezing that glute now, squeezing that right glute. That'll be your last one, just lower that leg down. Come to your hands if you weren't already on your hands. And we're just going to rock back now. So breath in, as you breathe out, pull it back. So I'm going to take my hands onto the outside of that leg and just roll forward and pull it back. So it's up to you if you want your hands still on the inside or the outside, really whatever works best for you. So are you feeling tighter on one side than the other? Did that feel different from one side to the other for you? This one, your last one. So drawing the toes up towards your head. And slowly bring the foot back. So you do now need to take that left hand onto the outside of the left foot. Ready to release, so toes under back leg, draw up on your pelvic floor. It's just nice and easy. Breath in as you breathe out, push up with the knee, slide that foot back, hip distance on the feet, breathe in to come up to your toes, breathe out, take your heels down, breathing up to toes, breathing out, take the heels down. So ready now to go into your plank, breathe up to toes, draw up on pelvic floor, As you breathe out, body weight forwards over the arms, push down through the heels, into your plank, and really feel here for what's happening. So check your connections mid-back, midsection, glutes to 100% contraction, quads to 100% contraction. Really push the heels right down into the floor, draw the shoulders away from your ears. So really building this strength into your body. This has got so many benefits. So this is your weight bearing exercise, your core strength exercise, and your resistance exercise. This one, your last one. Push back to your downward dog, draw your head towards your feet. Breathing up to toes, draw up on pelvic floor. As you breathe out, body weight forwards over the arms, bending the knees. Slowly lowering down, well done. Once you're there, back onto your heels, stretching the arms out. So release here for your wrists, your palms up, your palms down. And please just take all the time you need to do whatever you feel you need to do now to release your hands, your wrists, your fingers after that last movement. So when you're ready, bring your palms back to the mat. Ready now to release your shoulders. You might prefer some support underneath your forehead. Bring your arms around your fingers, touching the heels. When you're ready then, just allow your arms to relax to your sides with your palms up. We're taking a stretch over the wrists. A breath in. As you breathe out, curl the palms up towards your head. Breathe in to release. And again, breathe out, curl the palms up. Breathe in to release. So stay here to take two more. Really good stretch for your wrists. And your last one, relaxing your hands, relaxing your wrists. Now, taking the arms out a little bit wider. We're just going to take a few breaths in the posture. A deep breath in. Blowing out. So as you're breathing, we're checking that your shoulders are completely relaxed. If your shoulders don't feel completely relaxed in that position, please adjust the placement of your arms until they do. We're checking out for any remaining areas of tension. So just scan from your head to your feet. And if you're finding any, then just allowing those areas to relax. So remembering to take your body scan in your day-to-day, scanning from your head to your feet, checking for any areas of tension. So if you find any, you can go ahead and release that tension before it starts to build up in your body. Ready now to stretch out your chest, your shoulders, taking the arms behind you, backwards, facing your fingers, rolling right up onto the top of your head, stretching your arms up. That'll be your last one, so releasing your arms, bring the arms around, so pushing back up to all fours. We're just going to take some time now to focus on the spine. So wrists under shoulders, knees under your hips. So can you create more space between your shoulders and your ears? Drawing your shoulder blades down your back. You need to feel for the placement of your neck. So feel for the stretch of the back, lengthening up from the crown, slight tucking of your chin. Double check your place by checking your line of vision. That should be exactly midway between your hands. And we're going to start by just mobilising the lumbar spine. So make sure the mid-back stays still for now. Lower abs doing the work. So when you're ready, breath in to prepare. As you breathe out using your lower abdominals, you're just pulling your tail forward. And breathe in to go back to neutral spine. And again, breathe out, you're pulling the tail forward. Breathe in to go back to neutral spine. So we're going to stay here to take a few of these movements. Working at your own pace, and remember we are aiming to isolate those lumbar vertebrae, so please make sure you're not moving into the mid-back just yet. You do need to feel for what's happening, so you need to be able to still feel the drawing down the shoulder blades at the moment. Once you're sure you've got your lower back moving into the rest of the spine now, full cat stretch, focus on using the abs. Taking a breath in, as you breathe out, you're pulling the tail forward, you're drawing the head towards the tail. So drawing the two now closer and closer in towards each other. Make sure you've drawn your head as close to the tail as you can before you move on. Holding here to breathe in. As you breathe out, you're sitting back towards your heels, stretching out your back edge, just hanging to the floor, holding there to breathe in. As you breathe out, you slowly back up, so keeping that scooping in. Breath in, as you breathe out, you're lowering down, you're pushing through the tail, head back into line with the spine, shoulders relax, shoulder blades engaged, same thing again. Breath in, as you breathe out, pull the tail forward, draw the head towards the tail. So drawing the two closer and closer in towards each other. Breath in, as you breathe out, you're sitting back towards your heels, stretching out your back. Breath in, as you breathe out, you slowly back up, so keeping that scooping in. Breath in, as you breathe out, you're lowering down, pushing through the tail, head back into line with the spine, shoulders relaxed, shoulder blades engaged. So we're going to stay here to take one more of this movement, working at your own pace. Really, really good spine mobility exercise, this one. So easing back to your neutral spine, back to your start position. So from here we're going to move on to take some stretch on inner thighs. We're going to work with the width of your mat. So you might need to change the orientation of your mat now. So if you know that you need a blue block underneath your hands for some height, please bring that over. So tucking the toes under, walking your hands to your knees, pushing up onto your toes, walking your hands to your toes, pushing down through the heels, knees bent, your head's hanging to the floor. So depending on where you are, you're either just going to walk the feet out wide or take your quarter turn, so you're with the width of your mat. And just walking your feet out wide until you can feel a stretch, you start to feel a stretch on your inner thigh muscles. So if your hands aren't touching the floor, they're barely touching the floor, you can feel a pull on your lower back, you can't relax off your neck and your shoulders, please bring over your block and place your hands onto the block. Just give yourself a nice supported stretch. So we're going to stretch out the inner thighs, and this area does generally tend to be tight. Please go easy when you go into it. Obviously you don't want to tear any muscles, so just nice and gently as you go. So line of vision now is behind you. Please make sure you're looking behind you and you're not looking at your block, your hands or the mat. Obviously I need to talk to you, so I will be lifting my chin, but please don't you do that. Okay, so looking behind you and check your shoulders are relaxed. We're going to start off with a bend through the right knee. So join up on pelvic floor, taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, just easy, taking a bend through the right knee, ease your weight over to your right. Breathe in to come to centre, breathe out over to the other side. Breathe into centre. So we're going to stay here and just please work at your own pace. So remember, when you're stretching out tight muscles, typically when you first go into the stretch will feel strong. When you've been working into the stretch for a while, the stretch then should start to ease off. And when it does, and if you're ready to, that's when you would increase the stretch. So please listen to your body. I know I say it all the time, but it's really important. Please listen to your body, feel for what's happening, and always ease into the stretch. So try and visualise what's happening with your muscles, and you need to ease those tight muscles into a stretch. And it's so important that you don't do that too quickly or too strongly. So how is that stretch feeling for you? Is it feeling less strong than it was when you first started? So if it is, are you able to take it a bit further over? So try and keep your upper body still and just try and allow the movement to come from the legs. We'll make this one our last one. Finishing off the bend through your left knee. So now coming to centre, if you're ready to increase the stretch, you're going to walk the feet out wider. And what we're aiming for eventually here with this posture is that you're able to come down to your forearms. So if you can't come all the way down to your forearms, what you can try is coming onto your block, and that does work really, really well. So it's a kind of halfway progression. So if you're able to do that, please just go ahead and do that. So if you're on the block at the moment, if you need your block, please just stay there, breathe into the stretch, enjoy the stretch. If you're down to your forearms, and I know that a few of you are, and you will be ready for this. So if you're ready, we're going to walk your hands forward, pushing up with the hips, aim to take extension, man's extension here through the spine, walking the fingers away, pushing right up with the hips, feeling the stretch over the shoulders. So eventually for the forehead to come down to the mat. That'll be your last one. Draw up on your pelvic floor. Slowly then walk the hands back in. We're going to walk the feet back in slightly and ready to move on. So if you're ready to, we're going to take some rotation now. Aim to get some stretch into the lats, and if you need your hands on the block, please just simply slide your block over with you. So we're taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, walking the hands over towards the right foot. Keep the chin tucked in. So aim to start to feel a stretch into the lats here on your left. And if you're ready for me, we're going to take your left hand, wrap that around your right heel, ease the upper body in towards the leg. And if you're ready, we're going to sweep that right arm up, aim to look up at the hand. Any problems with the neck, please just tuck the chin down. And your last one, slowly bring the hand back. Walk the hands to centre. Breath in, as you breathe out, walk over towards the left foot. Keep your chin tucked in. So can you feel a stretch there on your lats just now? So right hand wraps around the left heel if you're ready to move on. And if you're ready from there, we're sweeping the left arm up and to look up at the hand. That'll be your last one. Breath in as you breathe out, slowly bring the hands back. Walking your hands back to centre. And then once you're there, we're going to walk the feet back into hip distance. And ready now to encounter standing. Breath in as you breathe out, push your hips forward, push your knees forward. Slowly uncurl your spine. Well done, everyone. Up to standing and ready now to go into your dart in standing. Excuse me while I just pick up my glasses. So into your dart in standing, and if you do prefer to do it lying down, excuse me, I'm coming over to adjust you slightly. So if you do prefer to do this in lying down, please go ahead and do it in lying down. So we're targeting and stabilising the muscles in the mid-back. Shoulders are down, make sure the ribs are down. And just take a moment to focus on your mid-back. So remember, you need to start the movement off by drawing the shoulder blades in. You're not starting by drawing your shoulders back. So ribs are down. Make sure you've got your core engaged. Your breath in to prepare. So you breathe out, we're drawing the shoulder blades in. Then drawing your shoulders back as far as you can. Drawing the shoulder blades even closer in towards each other. Breathe in to go back to your start position. And again, breathe out, drawing the shoulder blades in, drawing your shoulders back. Shoulder blades closer in towards each other. Breathe in to go back to your start position. So we're going to stay here to take a good few of these movements and really feel what's happening here through the mid-back. So when you're taking this movement in standing, you do need to work hard to maintain your posture. You don't have to do that when you're lying down. And you can just go ahead and focus on the movement and which muscles you're working. But when you're taking this movement in standing, you do need to work hard on drawing the ribs down, on tucking your tail under if your tendency is to arch the lower back, and on making sure you're maintaining good placement for the neck. You're making this one like your last one. So back to your start position. And we're going to take some release for the mid-back now. So interlacing the fingers, it's full pelvic tilt, scoop your abs in, make sure you don't lean forward. Breath in as you breathe out, push into your back, push into your hands. Keep on pushing into your back, keep on pushing into your hands. And your last one, breath in as you breathe out, you slowly back up. Coming to stand at the end of your mat, ready to roll down, full pelvic tilt. Breath in as you breathe out, nodding the chin, slowly rolling your head down. Just hanging your spine, keeping your chin tucked in, walking your hands forward now to your mat. Knees are coming down one at a time. And we're going to move on now to take some strength work into the thighs. We're still working on lengthening out, stretching out, hip flexors. Some work into glutes as well, so coming into knee hinges. If you don't like this one, and if you've got a problem with your knees and this one causes you any discomfort, please choose any of your other quad strengthening exercises. So you've got your hanging down squats, your standing squats, your plie squats, knee hovers if you've got the strength to do that, and this is intermediate, so I'm sure all of you are able to do that, your roll forwards, knee hovers. So if you need an alternative, please just choose any of those. If you need any padding underneath your knees to what you've already got here now with your mat, please bring over a towel, place that underneath the knees, or you can just roll over the top of your mat. That does work really well. So engaging your core and using your thighs now, not your back, pushing up into upright kneeling position. And then once you're there, just check on your placement. So make sure you have got that straight line from your hips down to your knees. Make sure you're not here and make sure you're not here. You might just actually want to have a look down and check you've got your placement. And it is so important that the knees have always got good alignment. Lengthening up from the crown, and you do constantly need to think about lengthening here, because the tendency with this one is to kind of sink down into the movement. So really keep your spine upright, keep it extended, lengthening right up from the crown. We're going to start by feeling for the spine, one hand in front of the pelvis, one hand behind. And remember, when you take this movement, you don't want any movement to your spine. We're aiming to keep the spine stable. So make sure when you go into the movement that you don't do this. You're not sitting back towards your heels, and you're not doing that either, leaning back. You need to make sure you've got the ribs drawing right down, and as long as you've got your ribs drawing down, you know that you're going to be maintaining neutral spine as you go back. So feeling for the spine, feel for the shoulders, the shoulder girdle and your neck. Join up on your pelvic floor, taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, we're hinging back. You need to squeeze your glutes now as strong as you can. And it doesn't matter how far you go back on this one. The main thing is that you've got correct technique, you're working the right muscles. Breath in, as you breathe out, you back up. So are you maintaining neutral? And again, breath in, as you breathe out, hinging back. And at your furthest point, you should be a strong line from your shoulders down to your knees. Breath in, as you breathe out, you back up. So if you're sure you've got neutral, we're going to release your arms, and we're going to add in some focus now on shoulder girdle stability. So as you hinge back, you're drawing your shoulder blades down your back. So make sure the shoulders are down. Breath in as you breathe out, draw your shoulder blades down your back, squeeze your glutes, float your arms up just to shoulder height. Breath in as you breathe out, you're coming up, your arms are going down. And again, breath in as you breathe out, hinging back, just float your arms up. Make sure you have got your shoulder blades drawing down your back. So this is bringing your focus to basically correct movement pattern through the shoulders on lifting your arms. So please just continue there. So you do need to be careful in your day-to-day when you lift your arms that you're not repeatedly lifting your shoulders like this, because it's that repeated lift of the shoulders that overworks the upper traps, makes these muscles short and tight. So as much as you can, try and be aware about your stabiliser muscles in the mid-back in your day-to-day, so that when you do lift your arm, you've got that stability, you're drawing the shoulder blade down the back. So always making sure you're not constantly lifting the shoulders. So how is that feeling on your quads? This is quite a strong one. It's a really, really good exercise, this one. Particularly good for you if your tendency is to arch your lower back. So remember, if that's you, you really need to work hard on glute strength and the hip flexor stretch to basically get your pelvis and therefore your lumbar spine into the right position. So you're working your glutes and you're stretching out your hip flexors. So if you're ready to now, we're going to go into a hold to finish. So crossing your arms over your chest or up on your pelvic floor. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're hinging back. We're going to hold it here. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, try and squeeze your glutes even stronger. Breath in, as you breathe out, try and get even more of a tilt on the pelvis. Breath in, and as you breathe out, you slowly back up. Well done, everyone. Releasing your arms, roll the shoulders round. And from here now, back onto your heels, walking the hands forward. You're going to bring the knees off to the side and around to the front, so you're sitting facing the front. And we're going to move now into seated hip stretch. So been doing quite a lot of work on stretching out and opening out the front of the hip so far. So you're going to take some stretch down on the back of the hip and also lumbar spine. If you do need to pop up onto your block, please do that. So right leg in front of your left, hands to the knees, take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're nodding the chin, slowly rolling down. So just find your place in the stretch. A deep breath in, blowing out. So this is an excellent stretch for your lower back and the backs of your hips. If you're ready to move on, breath in. As you breathe out, bring your hands down to the mat. So your head's just hanging to the floor. If you're ready from here, we're lowering down onto the forearms. So if you remember when we did this stretch last week and we've done the lizard, we've done the pigeon, we've done the leg extended out with the other one bent to the side, and then did this stretch and really felt a difference. And know from those of you that did feedback to me did say that you could really feel a difference on this stretch after you've done all those other stretches. So if you know that you're tight, you tend to be tight around the hips, please just try and incorporate those stretches for the hips into your day-to-day. Your last one, breath in. As you breathe out, slowly walking the hands back in, pushing into your back up to sitting, changing legs now, so left in front to your right, hands to your knees, a deep breath in. As you breathe out, nodding the chin, slowly rolling your head down. You're ready to move on, breath in. As you breathe out, bring your hands down to the mat. You're ready from here, lowering to your forearms. And again, if you need to, or you'd like to, if you are finding it strong to place the forearms down, then please use your blue block as an in-between progression. So place your forearms onto the block. Your next progression is stretching the arms out, walking the fingers away from you, pushing the backs of your hips down towards the floor, and really try and walk the fingers away as far as you can. And your last one, breath in. As you breathe out, slowly walking the hands into you, pushing into your back, uncurling your spine, so you're up to sitting, feet on the floor with your knees bent. So we're coming into lying down. If you need any head support, please make sure that's there at the top of your mat ready for you. So coming into lying down, and it's up to you whether, and I should say, sorry, if your back doesn't feel ready to roll down today, ankles and knees together, you know this anyway, I'm sure. Ankles and knees together, knees off to the side, lie on your side and then onto your back. If your back is ready to roll down, then feet on the floor, knees bent, or you can extend the legs and arms are parallel, crossed or lifted. And we start with a small tilt on the pelvis, scoop your abs in, breath in, and as you breathe out, you're slowly rolling down. So spine goes down, your head goes down. Once you're there, arms up over your head, stretching your legs out in front, so your full body stretch, reaching the fingers away, reaching your toes away. So we'll just take a few breaths down in the posture, a deep breath in, blowing out. So as you're breathing, just allowing the lower back to arch up a little bit higher into passive extension if that's comfortable for you. If it doesn't feel very comfortable, please engage your core, slide the heels into one at a time, your feet on the floor, your knees are bent. As you're breathing, we're just allowing the ribcage to open out, allowing your abdominals to relax, relaxing off your midsection. When you feel that that's relaxed, try and relax it even further. You might need to find a different placement now for your arms for you to feel more comfortable in that posture. So placing your arms wherever is most comfortable for you. We're now relaxing off your hips, relaxing off your legs. So just allow your legs to be relaxed and heavy. We're checking out for any remaining areas of tension from your head to your feet. And if you're finding any, just allowing those areas to relax. Before you start moving, re-engaging your core, slowly bring your arms down, sliding the heels into you one at a time. We're now hugging one knee into your chest, followed by the other, rolling the knees in and back, and again, rolling the knees in and back. Really good stretch here for your lower back. If you're ready, we'll take this to hamstring stretch, hugging the knees in, stretching up your legs, taking a hold on calves or heels. Breath in as you breathe out, easing the legs in towards you and back. And again, easing the legs in and back. So if you know that you are able to take your legs over your head and go into the plough posture, arms to your side, your palms are down. Breath in as you breathe out, you push down with your arms, pushing up with the hips, feet on the floor behind you if you can, although please don't ever force any movements. So when you're ready, breath in, as you breathe out very slowly, carefully, controlling the whole movement to your abdominals. So back to your start position, bending your knees, feet to the floor, then one at a time. Take your arms out wide to your sides, ankles and knees together. Breath in as you breathe out, your knees go over to your right. You're turning your head to your left. Breath in as you breathe out, doing legs, spine, head back to centre. Breath in, breathe out, so over to the other side. Breath in as you breathe out, doing legs, spine, head back to centre. So legs and feet are hip distance, straight line, hip, knee, ankle, big toe. Check you've got your central position for your spine, you've got your placement for your neck. Ready now to go into pelvic tilt. Heels need to be quite close into you to encourage your glutes. You breath in as you breathe out, press your lower back into the mat. Squeeze your glutes, lifting the tailbone high, and just hold it there for now. Really focus on using your glutes to send your tailbone right up towards the ceiling. When you feel you've got your tailbone at your highest and your furthest point, try and push the tailbone up even higher again. You're doing that through the glutes. At your furthest point, hold in there to breathe in. And as you breathe out, very slowly, carefully, and one vertebra at a time, peeling your 5 lumbar vertebrae back down to the mat. Going back to neutral, and if you're ready to now, it's full ski slope position. If you work with head support, that needs to come away. Hands onto the fronts of your hips, and remember, as you're moving your spine, your pelvis needs to stay stable. So check with your hands that your hips aren't sloping or tipping off to the side. So draw up on your pelvic floor, we're taking a breath in. As you breathe out, pressing the lower back in, squeezing your glutes, slowly pulling the spine away, working up towards your head, pushing forward through the front of the knees, lengthening down the front of the thighs. You're right up into your ski slope position. Holding here to breathe in, and as you breathe out, very slowly, carefully, and just one vertebra at a time, peeling each vertebra back down to the mat. So imagine you're lying on wet sand. You're watching each of your vertebrae imprinting into the sand as you roll down. Pay particular attention to those lumbar vertebrae. Back down to neutral, relaxing off the glutes, hugging one knee into your chest, followed by the other. Rolling the knees in and back. And again, rolling the knees in and back. This one, your last one. Your feet to the floor one at a time. So we're going to stay with your bridge. Hands onto the front of the hips. Keep your pelvis stable. Draw up on your pelvic floor. Breath in as you breathe out. Pressing the lower back in, squeezing your glutes, slowly pulling the spine away. So right up to that ski slope position. So we're going to stay here now and take some more strength work for the lower body. If you feel that you need to roll the spine down at any time, please just do that. So draw up on your pelvic floor. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, we're drawing the knees in towards each other halfway. Breathe in to go back to hip distance. And again, breathe out, draw the knees in halfway. Breathe in to go back to hip distance. The tendency here as you draw your knees in is for your hips to drop down. So as you draw the knees in, you need to think hips up, hips up, hips up. Obviously, you're using your glutes to do that. If you're ready to move on, we're adding in your arms. So lifting your arms, fingers pointing towards the ceiling, drop on your pelvic floor. Breath in as you breathe out. You draw the knees in as you take your right arm up over your head, left arm down by your side. Breathe in to bring the arms and the legs back. Breathe out, left arm goes up, right arm down, draw the knees in. Breathe in back to your start position. So make sure you don't allow your hips to drop down even half a centimetre. So keeping your hips lifted all the way through. And the challenge here with the arms is to make sure that that movement with the arms doesn't pull your spine into a twist. So everything between your arms and your legs staying perfectly still. So how does that feel on your glutes just now? Check in with yourself. Feel for what's happening on your scale of 0 to 10. That one, your last one. From here, we're going to take your arms up over your head to the floor if you can. Bring the palms together. Index fingers together, crossing the thumbs over at the front and interlacing the rest of your fingers. So draw up on your pelvic floor. Breathe in to lower the hips down an inch. As you breathe out, push up with the hips and pull your arms forward towards the knees. Breathe in, lower the hips, lower the arms. Breathe out, use your glutes, push the hips up, draw the hands towards the knees. Breathe in, lower the hips, take the arms up. Breathe out, push up the hips, draw the arms forward. It's going to stay here to take a few more. So pushing the hips, drawing the arms forward. So hopefully that's feeling strong for you, for your glutes. It's so important that we're maintaining good strength for the glutes. So remember, they've got the job of helping to support and to stabilise your lower back. This one, your last one, so push right up with your hips. We're going to take the arms up now over your head. Try and push them up even higher, as high as you can. And if you're ready, we're going to bring the spine down now with your arms over your head. If you're not ready to do that, please just bring your hands to your hip bones. If you are, try and scooch the feet a bit further away from you one at a time to give you ample space to get a good stretch on your spine on the way down. So breath in as you breathe out very slowly, carefully. Really take your time here. It should be taking you longer to bring your spine down with your arms over your head than without. So please take all the time you need, take all the breaths you need. All the way back down to neutral. Once you're there, relaxing off the glutes, replacing your head support if that's you. We'll take a glute stretch now, so right foot over the left knee. Just hold it here for now. Again, we're stretching out the back of the hip. If you're ready to, ease the legs in towards you, supporting with your arms and your hands. So right hand goes under the right knee, left hand supporting the right foot, shoulders relax. So just breathe into the stretch. Make sure you don't lift your chin. So you might need head support for this exercise. This might be the only exercise for which you need head support. So check in with your neck and what's happening there. If you can feel that you're lifting the chin and you can't correct that yourself, you do need some support. So think about using the left leg now to help ease the right leg even closer into you. That your last one. So you're taking that foot to the floor, followed by the other. We're changing over left foot over the right knee, so you just hold it here for now. If you're ready, ease the legs in towards you, supporting with your arms and your hands. Breathe into the stretch, and again, make sure you're not lifting the chin. Using that right leg to help ease the left leg even closer into you and increase your stretch. That'll be the last one. So you're taking that foot to the floor, followed by the other. So we're going to finish off today with some focus on abdominals, and today we're going to come into the 100, just rewinding my music. So we're going to come into the 100 with real focus on core strength and more superficial abdominal strength. So we're combining the two exercises here in one. Any problems with your neck, please do half the movement with your head down, and the other half come up into sitting and do your appropriate seated abdominal exercise instead. So you do need to be strong into your core to do this exercise, and if you feel when you get there or you're midway through the movement and you can't maintain the hold on the core, please bring your feet down to the floor. So most important thing is that you're not straining your core muscles or your back. So draw upon your pelvic floor into deep lying abdominals, lifting one leg, imprinting the spine, lifting the other leg. So you're either working in imprint or in neutral. So if you need that supported imprint position for your lower back, please just stay with that. If you know that you're very strong into core and you can maintain tabletop position here, which is neutral spine for lumbar, then going into that. So arms are to your side, your palms are down. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. We're going to hover your arms now about 1 centimetre away from the floor. Taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, starting small, fast beats with your arms. If you're ready to move on, we're going to extend the legs, bring the feet together, and Pilates turn out if you prefer. You need to switch on the quads, contracting the quads, aiming on closing every gap between the legs. And if you're ready, we're going to lower your legs down as far as you can whilst maintaining the hold on the core. You don't want to go beyond about 45 degrees away from the floor. So please check in with yourself. Have you still got neutral for lumbar? Have you still got the connections to the core? Make sure there's no doming or bulging of the abdominals and the rib cage is drawing down. So we're staying here for 5. We're going to call that 5. Pause with the arms, bring the feet together, bend the knees, draw them in. Now we're going into your curls. So hands behind your head, elbows are out wide. Lengthen up from the crown, slight tuck in of the chin. Draw up on your pelvic floor. Breath in as you breathe out, curling up, reaching forward, hands behind the backs, knees or the thighs. And remember, the main thing about the curl is the height of the curl. So you might need to stay here, or if you're able to bump the arms and maintain the height, we're doing that. If you're ready, extend the legs, Pilates turn out on the feet, and you're constantly pulling the shoulders right up to meet the toes. So really contract your quads. Having difficulty talking and doing the exercise, so come on. So really make sure you contract in the quads, try and close every gap between the legs. So you're holding it again for 5. We'll call that 5. Pause with the arms, bend the knees. One hand behind the head. Lowering down, going straight back into the exercise, head down. If you're ready, extend the legs, Pilates turn out. Lowering the legs down as far as you can whilst keeping a hold of the core. So this is real intense focus, intense work on those muscles that work to support and stabilise the spine, and the muscles that work to move the spine. So keep on contracting the thighs here as you go. Close that gap between your knees. This one, your last one. Pause with the arms, bending the knees. This is your last curl, hands behind your head. Lengthen up the crown, elbows wide, draw up on pelvic floor. Breath in as you breathe out, curl up into the curl. And either holding it here, or if you can, continue with the beats of the arms, extending the legs. Pilates turn out on the feet if you prefer. And keep on doing the shoulders right up towards the big toes. So if you can, try and do between 5 and 10 breaths here to finish. And you can do this. So just picture yourself back in class. Everyone's huffing and puffing around you. Everyone's suffering with you at the same time. It is a really strong exercise, but you know it does you good. So keep going and just a couple more breaths. And you're there. And your last one, pause with the arms, bending the knees, one hand behind your head, slowly rolling down. Well done, everyone. So just gently now turn your head from side to side. Just come back to your breath. Back to centre. So we're going to take your left foot down to the floor, plugging the right knee into you. So stretching that left leg out in front. So left arm now goes out to the side, right hand onto the inside of the right knee. Breath in as you breathe out, turn the hip out. And your last one, drawing the knee back in, right foot to the floor, sliding the left heel in, changing over, so hugging the left knee and sliding the right heel away, pointing down through the toes. And if you're ready, right arm out to the side, left hand onto the inside of the left knee, just ease that hip open. So obviously only doing this if this is comfortable for you. Try and keep the pelvis still, so try not to peel the back of the right hip away from the mat. That'll be your last one. Draw the leg back in. Left foot to the floor, sliding the right heel in. And now lifting your right leg to 90 degrees. Left hand onto the outside of the right knee, straightening out your left leg. Breath in as you breathe out, your leg goes over to your left. You're turning your head to your right. So really nice rotational stretch for the spine. Really good stretch around the back of the hip. Your last one, breath in as you breathe out, slowly along the spine. The leg, the head back to your start position, right foot to the floor, sliding the left heel in. When you're ready, lifting the left leg, right hand onto the outside of the left knee, straightening out your right leg. Breath in as you breathe out, your leg goes over to your right, turning your head to your left. Your last one, breath in. As you breathe out, slowly roll the spine, the leg, the head. Back to your start position, left foot to the floor, sliding the right heel in. Arms out wide to your sides, ankles and knees together. So choosing which way is best for you to bring your legs over to. Breath in as you breathe out, knees over to the side, bring the arm and head over to the same side as your knees. So you're over to all fours, checking your setup, wrists under shoulders, knees under your hips. And now tucking the toes under. Walking your hands to your knees, pushing up onto your toes, walking your hands to your toes, pushing down through the heels, knees are bent, head's just hanging to the floor. Check you've got hip distance on your feet and get ready to work hard now with your abdominals. Breath in as you breathe out, you're pushing your hips forward, pushing your knees forward, slowly, slowly uncurling your spine. So going right back up to standing, and once you're there, just checking through your posture. So checking your shoulders are down, they're away from your ears. Have that look down at your feet, check you've got your hip distance, toes are forwards. Remembering that softness through the knees. Switching on your core. Chest stretch, arms behind you, back interlacing the fingers. Keep the shoulders where they are, releasing your hands. Try and get really tall out from your crown, 2 more inches onto the height of your spine. And a few deep breaths with your arms. Taking a deep breath in, taking the arms up. And blowing out. And again, deep breath in. Blowing out. And last one, deep breath in. And blowing out. Thank you very much, everybody. Well done for today's session. So please let me know how you got on, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.